All right, guys, welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. I'm Jake, and I just got finished doing the 200-hour service here on the Kubota L3901 tractor. The 200-hour service doesn't really involve much. All the basic things: greasing, checking wheel bolt torque, checking that the starting system works, the battery's good, the seat, operator seat presence thing, stuff like that. The biggest thing was to change the transmission oil filter on it, which I just did. I also went through, greased the grapple, greased the chipper, greased the entire tractor. You can hear Louie in the background. He's very happy that we finally got the 200-hour service done. I was a little bit late to the game. I think the tractor's at about 215 hours, but no big deal. We got it all set, and now we're good until I think the next service interval is about 300 hours. But today we are going to start working on getting back to doing firewood. It has been a crazy couple of weeks. I'd say about the last 3 weeks between closing in the house, moving into the house, moving all my equipment over here. It's still, believe it or not all over here yet from Sam's. I still have a shelter logic over there. I still have the log splitter over there, some IBC totes, but we're getting close. But today's a beautiful day here in southwestern Connecticut, and we are going to make some progress on getting back to firewood. Now, I've mentioned in a couple of past videos that I have a plan, and I've been thinking about it since they accepted our offer on the house back in like the beginning of December. And today we're going to take a little walk and a drive through the woods, and I'm going to show you my idea for what we're going to do with the wood yard, or at least what I think we're going to do for the wood yard. And I want your guys' input. You guys have been super helpful in the past when it comes to just giving me ideas or different ways to do things, especially like when it came to cutting the firewood with the log tongs hanging off and dumping the IBC totes into the dump trailer for firewood deliveries. I really appreciate all your guys' feedback, so I want more of your feedback to try and help me figure out what the best layout for a wood yard would be. So enough chit chat. I'm gonna hop on the tractor. We're gonna take you guys along for the ride, and we are going to take a little walk and drive through the property in the woods this time. And I'm gonna kind of let you know what my plans are for this upcoming wood yard.
All right, guys, so here we are at the bottom of the driveway. The house is there. The road is right here. There's the entrance to the driveway. Here's my trailer. We got this little cutout here. So what I've been thinking, and again, I want your guys' feedback. There's this big hill here that goes up that the little barn is kind of built into, and it flattens out up there behind the house, and then drops back down again to where it's flat. So my thinking was that somewhere down in here, and obviously you can see there's a lot of big rocks and stuff, but we got to pick the point of least resistance, which I'm thinking might be kind of here, off in this corner of the little pullout. I'm trying to do my best to be good with the camera. I know it's hard to tell, slope and stuff like that viewing, on YouTube. It's kind of tough, but bear with me. So we're going to come in here. We're going to have to clean up this downed oak limb. And then if we keep walking through here, our property line goes, I don't know if you can see, but there's a post right here. And our property line roughly follows this old stone wall. And then it flattens out, it really does. And there's almost, kind of like a flat road that if you follow and come back here, obviously some of these smaller trees would have to get thinned out and cleaned up, but that's what we're gonna work on. And we can come back along this way. And my goal would be ultimately at some point, maybe not at first, would be to be able to get millings and get my truck back here with the trailer, be able to dump logs, have log storage, have firewood storage, have the shelter logics back here. I mean, this is, we're talking probably years in the making, but just for starters, it's really flat. You can see, came all the way back here. Here's the backside of the hill I was talking about. And right behind that big wood pile is essentially the back edge of the lawn. We'd come back in here and it really does flatten out. There are some big rocks and stuff that we have to contend with, but I do have a friend with an excavator that offered to kind of come in and help me cut in a road, move any rocks that he could, you know, rip out stumps, bury stumps. But we got pretty good area here, and our property goes way back. So I mean, the first step would be to get a road in here and some little clearing, and I'm thinking it would probably be back in this area. We have this big oak right here, another big oak right here, but beyond those two and this dead oak spar that the top clearly broke out of at some point, all the rest are pretty small, manageable saplings that we could easily send through the WoodMaxx chipper in like no time at all. So this is the plan. This is what I was thinking. And then all along this road, I would love to make it wide enough to be able to store my IBC totes along one side, or, you know, even both sides for that matter, if I ever get enough, in a single row, kind of like Adam on Hometown Acres has. That way I don't have to jockey them around. You know, the oldest ones are in the back and I got to move all the ones in front of them, stuff like that. It would just be easy to have a nice big row of IBC totes, and even firewood, you know, maybe leave a couple saplings here and there to stack wood up in between. But this is the plan. Oh, and then, so where that wood pile is back there behind that big oak is essentially where the shelter logic currently is and where the tractor's been currently residing. So it is somewhat, you know, it's a hill, but it's a flat hill, if you kind of know what I mean. There isn't really a slope left to right if you shoot up it straight. So I would like to get kind of like another little road going back up this way, kind of just a straight shot. That way I can have access to the backyard and not really have to drive the tractor and trucks and stuff across the front yard, up the steep hill. You know, that way I kind of have a big U-shape semicircle coming around with access from both sides. So that's the plan for now, at least. I think today the wind's picking up, but we're going to fire up the little Stihl MS-201 TC topping saw, get that first big oak limb that fell down out of the way, chip it up, and start working our way back here and just clearing just enough so that I can get the tractor back here and have access to start really thinking about a real plan of attack now that we're here on the property. All right, so I know the wind just picked up a little bit, but as you can see here, I got the topping saw and the saw haul. I just tried for the first time strapping on my gas and oil and chainsaw tools and stuff to this back little part on the WoodMaxx chipper here. If you guys have one of these chippers, or can think of any good way or know of a good way to, you know, carry a chipper and a grapple on the front, and your gas and oil, like where to put it beyond just in the little chipper chute where I used to put it. But I don't want to have to constantly keep on moving it back and forth, so I just ratchet strapped it on there. The ratchet strap is not anywhere near like the PTO. Once it drops down, it'll be totally out of the way. So let me know. I would love to have one of those like big tool rack things, but can't really have that and the chipper at the same time, at least on the back. I know you can put it on the front on like pallet forks or a quick attach, but then I lose functionality of the grapple. So if you guys got any ideas, let me know. We've pulled the tractor in about 6 feet and we got our first branch here, so we're gonna start cutting it up. Okay guys, so first branch of many is chipped up. That was some big red oak. You can see this is the one piece that was a little bit too big to fit through the 8-inch WoodMaxx MX-8800. But boy, do I love this chipper. It's so nimble. Next up on the docket is this downed log here. And we got this hanger that broke out of this little spar, so we'll drop that. And then we got plenty more to chip up. But not so much on the ground. We go a span there, a ways, where I think we're just gonna zap down some saplings and send them through the chipper. guys, so we're making progress. So far we got 3 little piles of wood chips, which I'll probably at some point end up spreading out. Dropped 1 tree so far. I left the stump up a little bit. That way, when the guy comes in with the excavator, he can just grab it with the thumb and rip it out, or it gives me a little bit more leverage with the grapple to push it a little bit rather than cutting it down flush. Next up, we got these probably 4, maybe 5 little trees right here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all just like little bean poles. So I got the tractor, snaked it in through here. It was a little tight, especially with the stinger of the chipper on the back. But we're gonna drop these guys right down along the trail. Shouldn't be too tough, and get them chipped up. I don't know if you guys noticed, but on this last tree that I just cut down, when I first fed it in the chipper, it wasn't that it was too big, it was actually just too much weight way off the back because it was so long and tall that it was forcing the feed wheel up a little bit. So the feed wheel wasn't really grabbing. So that's why I cut it, reduced some of the weight, just shoved the trunk and the top through separately. So I'll probably have to do that with probably this big one and maybe this other like little medium one. I think these little small ones aren't really tall enough to provide too much weight. Well guys, the trees are down. I forgot to hit record. I'm sorry about that. And that kind of sucks because I wanted to show you something on these bigger ones. I made my notch in the front, and then you can see I made my back cut right here. But with these, especially because they're so tall, it's not really that they were leaning, they were pretty straight. But with these ones, especially because I'm by myself, I like to leave a really big hinge here. So I cut, you can see most of the way through, I maybe left like, I don't know, a quarter of holding wood there for my hinge. And then I put the saw down and I actually push it to see if I can get it to go. That is enough wood to hold the tree, you know, if it were to go backwards towards the tractor. So I just wanted to point that out. It's a safety thing, especially when you're out here by yourself, you know, cutting down trees. They're not big, but you know, just something as an arborist, I thought I'd share with you. Safety first. Leave a big hinge. If it starts to go and you push it over, great. If it doesn't fall all the way, the hinge will close on itself and it'll just be hanging at like a 45-degree angle. But if it does start to go the wrong way, at least it gives you time to get out of there, get your equipment out of there so nothing gets damaged. But these things went down no problem. Left the stumps a little bit high. Like I said, that way I can either get them out or the guy at the excavator can, and we're gonna get them chipped up. Okay guys, so we made it to the point, for the most part, that I wanted to get to by today. We cut in a nice path all the way back to the road. That way I can get access with the tractor back here. Not quite yet the truck and trailer. We're gonna have to get these stumps out of the way first, but we're back to where I'm thinking the clearing will probably be. Sorry for the glare with the sun. Now you can probably see all these rocks and stuff down here. I'm not really sure which ones are big and can't be moved and which ones can be moved. So we will have to tackle that and figure that out once we clear all this out. But I think I'll probably make like a playlist for building the wood yard. That way all the videos are in one spot. I just made a couple other playlists. I think one on the Grapple and one on the chipper. So if you haven't seen those already, check those out. But next time we come out here, we'll see. But next time we work, at least on this new woodyard project, we can just, you know, hightail it back here and start zapping down all these little saplings that are all over. Most of them are just like 1, 2, maybe 3 inches. And get those out of the way so that we can kind of see what we're working with. I think there's a lot of potential back here. And then when we're doing that as well, we could try and cut in that little secondary road that leads up to the backyard here. But I did mention before how I've been leaving these stumps kind of high for the guy with the excavator so he can rip them out. But I'm also pretty curious to see if the tractor is capable of ripping out a stump, you know, this size. Now these pretty much were all little maples. I think pretty much they're all sugar maples, if I'm not mistaken. So they should have pretty good root structure, but I did leave them a bit higher. So I'm gonna throw the tractor just on my way out here into low gear, and we're gonna see what we can do with this stump right here. Just for size comparison, from the tip of my thumb to my pinky is usually about like 8.5 inches. So I'd say, I don't know, this is probably like 2.5 inches, 3 inches. So we're gonna see what we can do with this stump.
Well, I got the stumps out, guys. I'm pretty impressed. I did not think I was gonna get those out quite as easily as I did. I think with a little bit more practice, and maybe if I leave the trunk maybe like another foot higher, I could get a little bit more leverage. But the Wicked Grapple from Everything Attachments just did a fantastic job. And I mean, this is a pretty decent, you know, stump. I know the trunk doesn't look very big, but that root structure, it just ripped it right out of the ground. Yeah, all in all, pretty impressive there. So I'd say this afternoon was super productive. I know I haven't been doing the Firewood videos. I know things are changing. I know the channel is changing. Bear with me. We're gonna get into all the good stuff. I know the last couple of videos haven't been exactly what you're used to, but change is a good thing. To any new subscribers, we've hit 2,000 subscribers. We're over it. Welcome to the channel. For those of you who have been here with me since the beginning, you know who you are. Thank you for continuing to watch. I know most of you are really into Firewood, and we will get back to the Firewood. But first, we got to build the whole wood yard. And this time we're going to do it right. When we were back at Sam's, it was kind of an evolution, and we were kind of figuring out both being a new tractor owner, having this equipment at my disposal, and starting to do Firewood like for the first time pretty much, to where I was going to try and sell it. I don't know this year if we're going to have enough time to get enough seasoned wood stockpiled to sell next year, but we'll see. It all depends on how frequent and how much time I get to come out here and work and build this wood yard, and then hopefully start splitting. But please stay tuned. We got a lot of cool stuff in store. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. Any questions, comments, feedback, put it in the comments section below. As always, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here next time.